So today I'm going to show you how to make this delicious no-bake strawberry cheesecake. It requires only a few ingredients. It's very easy to make and it fits summerly weather just fine. As well, it is very light in calories, so it is very beneficial for everyone who is minding or not what they're eating. Enjoy. I have seen quite a few variations of this dessert in the fitness world because this is kind of protein orientated dessert. And this is my way of doing it and I absolutely love it. I hope you will give this dessert a try and it's going to be a frequent guest on the hot summer days. I am going to add all the ingredients I need into one container because I'm going to blend everything in it. I am using plain cottage cheese, it's around 300 grams, and then I add a little bit of cold milk to it. You can double, triple the same recipe according whatever amount of dessert you would like to have. Just make sure that the amount of gelatin you are adding to it is equivalent to the liquids you actually need. It's okay if you add a little more gelatin than you actually need versus if you add too little, because then your cottage cheese will not become solidified. So my dessert is sugar-free and I'm using sugar-free jelly that I just prepare according the package. But the trick in here is not to add the full amount of liquid it needs. So my jelly says I need a hot liquid, so I add boiling water and then I sprinkle my gelatin into it, and then once it's melted I pour it into my cottage cheese and milk mixture and I blend it all together. So for example, my jelly to set is needing 400 milliliters of water. However, I'm not using it to setting the water, I'm using it to setting the cottage cheese. So I use just a little bit amount of hot water to make me help to activate it. And then once it's activated, I pour that into my cottage and milk mixture and I blend everything together. Next, I'm preparing my Weetabix. So I'm using here protein Weetabix, but you can use anything you have. And I'm adding a little bit of milk in them to make them like into mushy consistency. And then I'm going to spread this into the container that I have prepared earlier, lining up with a parchment paper. Now, if you use a smaller containers, most likely it's gonna be a portion size of the dessert you are preparing. So you don't need to line them up with a parchment paper. However, I wanted to make a bigger dessert, so I lined it up with parchment paper, leaving the, as you see here, the lots of extras, because these extras will help me hold the cake and pull it out of my container. And I'm using this container for no particular reason, except that I wanted to show you that you don't have to have a tin that has removable sides. You can use any dish you want to make this dessert. As you see, I evened out the base of my cake with the help of spatula. And then I added a few strawberries and then I poured all over them my cottage cheese mixture with the jelly. Now, if you're gonna use and blend, for example, strawberries together with the cottage cheese mixture, do keep in mind that they are becoming liquid, so you need a little bit more of jelly to help your mixture set. Then spread your cottage cheese evenly throughout all the cake. You can tap your container to the table to release all the air bubbles that might have been stuck in the cottage cheese mixture. And I have finished decorating my cake by adding more sliced strawberries on top. And I put this dessert in the fridge for actually around an hour because all ingredients are cold and the jelly sets really fast, so you can enjoy all this dessert within 2 hours time. And I have decided to have an extra layer of jelly on top. So here I have 1 sachet of my sugar-free jelly that I activated with a little bit of hot water. And I'm adding a few strawberries into it, and I blend everything together. While pouring this part on your already set cake, make sure you pour it on the spoon like you see here, because otherwise if the stream is too harsh or from too high, it will actually indent your cake in that part. And when you, well, it doesn't affect the taste, but when you cut and slice your cake, you see that indentation. And when you pour it with the help first on the spoon and then on the cake, it actually turns out really nice, and when you slice it you see those little slices separated. Make sure when you do different layers of jellies on the same cake that each layer you add on is room temperature, because if it is hotter it's gonna melt the bottom layer of your cake. There are a few ways to take out your dessert from the container like this. One of them is like you see me slicing on the sides and then just holding on those extra parchment paper bits and pulling the cake out. And another way is placing the container in a bigger container with hot water and leaving it there for a few seconds till the sides get loose, and then you can easily take your cake out. So I'm gonna try it now. Actually very good. Enjoy making yours.